Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Grocery Land. We just wrapped up a 12-week, $45 grocery budget challenge in Pantry build, and so I didn't really have a plan for this week, and I was thinking, you know, what am I going to spend? We have a Milestone Birthday in the house this week. Am I going to be really over budget? And come to find out, I actually hovered right around the $45 mark. I wasn't intending to do that. That was not planned, but having access to everything in the house has just made a huge and positive impact. So you can see what I accumulated. I'll put a link in the video here below. What I was able to accumulate in 12 weeks. Just think what I was able to accumulate leading up to those 12 weeks and what access I have to items that are in my house. So I'm going to put a little list here of items that we used that we didn't have access to before. Things like Parmesan cheese and minced garlic and a cheese slice. Just things that seem so small, so minimal, but have made this past week really, really happy. Thanks for tuning in. Check out what we got and what we were able to eat this week. And I think that you might be surprised. We have a 50th birthday in the house today, so this is happening. I think I'm gonna get one of these too. The handsome one loves these stuffed mushrooms. I grabbed a quick takeout lunch for the Milestone Birthday boy today. Well, we're sharing it. So you can see it was Burger King. I got the King meal deal. Gave us 2 burgers, an onion rings, and a small drink. It was $5.99 plus tax, worked out to $6.89. Okay, here they are. For a Milestone birthday, you need to do something special. And this is it. It just so happens that Father's Day is this weekend, so these were on special, a 4-day sale. Now the exciting part is I did the Sobeys gift card promo. So what that means is I buy $200 worth of Sobeys gift cards and get a 1,000 bonus seam points, equaling $10. So I did this twice. I'm going to use the gift cards to pay for my gas and my groceries over the next month to 6 weeks. There's 2 of us driving, so it doesn't take long actually to go through the gift cards on gas. A tank of gas is approximately $80 right now. So I did that and I got 2,000 bonus seam points. So when I bought these, they rang in at 35 and I'm going to say 93. I'll have to check the receipt, but I redeemed the 2,000 seam points that I earned for getting the gift cards. So I only paid $15 and change. It was under 16. So that is a really smart use of how I am spending my money. Very exciting. You got to do some special things for Milestone birthdays. They are lively. I'm waiting for the water to get hot. You want to know what's exciting? That I have access to all the food in my entire house. You saw how much food I was able to accumulate in just 12 weeks. Just imagine, just think about how much food I actually have, the variety of things I have. You want to know what I didn't have a lot of on the plan? I was super miserly with it. Butter. But you want to know what I actually have a lot of? Butter in my freezer. So this one's frozen. I just took it out for demonstration purposes. I actually took one out earlier today. It's in the butter container. And I am definitely going to need that because I am making garlic butter with ingredients that I already had. Nothing, no purchase necessary. Of course, for the lobster. I'm going to use butter, parsley, and minced garlic to make garlic butter. Super quick, right in the microwave, and it is delicious. You cannot be having lobster without it. They are just cooking away in there. If you've never made garlic butter before, I'm here to tell you it is dead easy. I love having pre-minced garlic and oil. Yes, this is quite an excessively large jar, but we do use a lot of garlic. This is just butter. I threw in some garlic and I sprinkled parsley on top. That is literally all it is. And I'm going to microwave it for perhaps 30 seconds to melt it all, but I'll wait until the lobster's closer to being served. I use this also softened as when I'm making homemade garlic bread. It's just so easy and cheap. Cheap. Here is that stuffed mushroom up close and personal. So that is sausage, looks like red pepper, looks like there's cheese in there, spinach. Yeah, this is going to be awesome with the lobster. These look pretty darn good. They are boiling hot. They need to cool a little bit before we're going to be able to handle them and crack the shells. I've got the stuffed portobello mushroom cooling as well. I'm still going to wait a little bit before I make the garlic butter or heat it up. And then we are going to have a feast, a birthday feast. This is the meat out of both of the claws and one of the claw arms. A bit of a mess here, but the tail and what I was able to get out of the legs. The Milestone Birthday continues with a coconut cream pie, compliments of my mother-in-law. This looks fantastic, and the birthday boy is extremely excited about it. So far this week, I have spent $22.16, and this is all I have left to show for it. It was a milestone birthday, so I did buy the lobster that I showed earlier, and we have eaten it. And I did buy the portobello, and we ate that as well. So I have left the cream and the 2 bananas. So you can see here that I spent $21.58 because I redeemed the 2,000 points. And I spent 58 cents on the bananas. So I have lots of room left. I don't really know if we need anything in particular because now that I have access to all of the groceries in the house, it might just be some fresh stuff. So I think we'll just leave it at this for now. Okay, I didn't just spend $22.16. I don't even know how I could forget about half of my groceries, but I did. So I did a frozen dinner hack this week, and I got the 6 frozen dinners for $13.94. And I also got flour at the frozen dinners were at Sobeys. And it was a hack with some scene points. And the flour was at the Atlantic Superstore. And it was on in the flyer for $2.44. And that is insane. I shared it everywhere, all over social media, because I thought this was just a great price for flour, especially for a really small budget. Because when your budget is really small, even if a big bag of flour goes on sale for a stellar price like $10, you might not have $10 in your budget that you can allocate just towards flour. So this was an outstanding price. When I went in to get just a bag of all-purpose flour, and they didn't have any. So for the first time ever in my life, I bought a bag of whole wheat flour because it was there, and this was a great price for me to try this, especially in some of the recipes that I make in the bread maker. It calls for whole wheat, and I always just use all-purpose. And I ended up getting rain checks because they had 2 other kinds of flour. They had the all-purpose that they were sold out of, and they had unbleached, bleached. I'm not sure, but whatever it was, I got rain checks for both because that's just a crazy price. So total, I spent $38.54. And if you want to add in the takeout meal that we had on the Handsome One's 50th birthday, the total, so that was $6.89. That brings my total spent this week to $45.43. Pretty good. And we're not even following a challenge. I could just get whatever, but this is what I got. Smoothie for lunch today. We are going to use up probably the rest of the blackberries, and then those will be done. And look what we have access to now again. Yay, protein powder. Blackberry banana with spinach. I forgot to have that out on the counter, but I did add spinach. smoothies with a little protein boost. So if this showing looks pretty sad, it actually is pretty sad. We were going to have hamburgers for supper, so this started out on the barbecue until we ran out of propane. So then we brought them inside to finish them up in the air fryer. They came out of the air fryer. We went to get the buns. The buns have turned moldy. The handsome one has asked me if I'm a witch because everything seems to turn moldy so fast in this house. I'm not, but anyways, the buns are moldy. They're like, I guess they're just eating these burgers on a plate with a knife and a fork. And then I said, well, we do have mashed potatoes and carrots left over from the other night. So we're going to heat that up and at least we'll have a little side to go with it. We'll try to figure something else out better. False alarm. We have 3 English muffins in the fridge. So we are going to toast these and at least we'll have buns. But we're still going to eat the mashed potatoes and the carrots. So this meal turned out quite a bit better than what initially I thought when I saw those burgers just sitting lamely on the plates. And the only thing we used that we had access to in the house that wasn't on the plan, we had some sweet and spicy mustard. And we have bacon bits. We ended up making the mashed potatoes, loaded mashed potatoes with sour cream, a little bit of grated cheese, bacon bits, which of course we now have access to. Exciting. And I cut up a little bit of that onion that I've been growing in the shot glass on the windowsill. So looks great. Another item that I have available now that I have access to my whole house, I am going to make some chicken stew. I'm going to use this Epicure meal solution, the mixed vegetables, leftover chicken, and I have already started to boil some diced potatoes. The great thing about this mix is that you only need to combine it with 2 cups of water. I don't need any milk or any dairy. So let's get the water in and just whisk this up. Perfect. Okay, the potatoes are cooked and drained. I added in 2 cups of mixed frozen vegetables, the cubed chicken. I am going to add in the broth that I had set aside. I'm going to bring this to a boil, stir it up. Everything all combined, bring it to a boil, and the sauce will thicken. So right now it looks a bit like a soup, but I promise you this is going to thicken up really nice. Chicken stew and jalapeno cornbread that I made to go with the stew. Smells great. It's a really dreary day, so this is a perfect meal. It's Father's Day, and I am going to make this cran lemon loaf package that I had. I had cranberries in the freezer. It calls for 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt, which I don't have, but I do have 3/4 of a cup of regular yogurt, so that's what I'm going to use. So this is something that I do. I have the measuring cup that I used for the oil upside down in the loaf pan. And as the oil comes out of there, I will use that oil to grease this pan. The cran lemon loaf has dried cranberry pieces in the mixture that came out of here. But because I have cranberries in the freezer, I'm going to add some. I garnished the top with a couple extra cranberries. I bake it at 350 for 45 minutes. And the reason I really love this loaf is because it is gluten-free. I'll let this cool for a while before I try to take it out of the loaf pan. It came out of the pan fantastic. Looks awesome. Yay. Cranberry lemon loaf. Lunch today is a Kraft Dinner cup and jalapeno cornbread. Tonight, we are visiting at my parents', and my mother made a delicious ham soup, and you all know how I love a good soup. It was so good. I have all of the leftovers of the chicken carcass, the bones, some skin in this pot, and I am going to boil this on low to get some broth. It is still rainy, cold, and dreary, and having some soup will be great. Chicken noodle soup. Leftovers for supper tonight, the potato scallop casserole for one and chicken stew for the other. We randomly decided we were going to have a snack tonight. We've had this in the freezer for a while. We purchased it, but not within our grocery budget. This was a fundraiser for my niece's elementary school. So we bought a couple of these to support the school. So they've been in the freezer for a while, and we are now going to have garlic fingers tonight, and we are going to use the pizza sauce that I made back in February. Looking forward to this. Chicken noodle soup and jalapeno cornbread for lunch. I had some pasta sauce frozen in the freezer, so we're going to have spaghetti tonight and clear up one more thing out of the freezer. Spaghetti, and we even got to have some Parmesan cheese. Leftover spaghetti for lunch today. We are having bacon, eggs, and hash brown for supper tonight. So excited. We haven't had breakfast for supper in a long time. I am really excited about this. And we always make our own hash brown, so this is actually feels like a really big treat. Now I need to get the ketchup. I used quite a few things that we had in the house already. I made a little list. I'm going to give a review here of items that I had in the house that weren't purchased during the pantry challenge that we used in the past week. Quite a lot. Butter, minced garlic, protein powder. That was really nice to be able to add into the smoothies. Sweet and spicy mustard, bacon bits, 1 cheese slice, a home style stew meal solution, jalapeno cornbread mix, cranberries, a cranberry lemon loaf, and that turned out amazing. We still have some left, but it was really, really good. Frozen jalapenos from the garden. So our garden was really, really plentiful with jalapenos last year, and we froze them in a variety of different ways. And what we have left now is just a bag of sliced jalapenos. I use them to garnish the jalapeno cornbread, but we use them on things like nachos and pizza. So I'm really excited to have access to those as well. Garlic fingers, that was from the fundraiser. Pasta sauce, that was frozen, and Parmesan cheese. So none of those things were make or break. If we didn't have them, we would have certainly survived, but it was really nice to have access to all of those things. It made the week extra awesome. So what did you all think of that? It was a pretty phenomenal week. We had some really fantastic, decadent luxury items for the 50th birthday party, and we still only spent $45. That's pretty exciting. Share your thoughts. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate if you would do so. And stay tuned for the upcoming adventures in Groceryland.